Welcome to Village Days!
Oh, by the way, Miss Williams, I would like to ask you a little bit about what's going on with relationships and love and relationships in the guidance department.
So, in the guidance department, and I can only speak for 11th grade, can't speak for the other grades, but I have a lot of students who are heartbroken because of breakups, and not only is it affecting them, what we previously talked about mentally, but it begins to affect you academically. And I just want you to know that this high school relationship will probably be one of many, especially once you go off to college. It's not the end of the world. It's okay if you break up with someone. It's okay to cry about it as well, but don't stay stuck in it. Just move forward. Don't let your emotions linger. Spend that time, that day or two, getting over whatever the situation is and move forward. And then for those of you who have breakups or have these incidents with your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, your significant other, learn to communicate. If you don't tell a person how they're hurting you or how they're hurting your feelings, they're not mind readers. They won't have any idea why you're actually upset if you don't communicate. Communicate takes opening your mouth sometimes. You can't always do it through text messages or through social media. Sometimes you have to sit face to face with that person and have that conversation in order to heal and move forward and accomplish the things you need to accomplish. So that was specifically for my 11th graders. I appreciate you guys. I love all of my students. But with these relationships, make sure that they are healthy relationships and make sure you're learning how to effectively communicate.
And that's a heart to heart with Miss Williams Hurt. Thank you so very much. Hi, Natasha. How are you doing today?
Good, and you?
Well. I'm just here because I'm asking certain students how they're feeling with certain classes that they're taking, either in school in Hollywood Hills or off campus. So I see you're in Sheridan Tech. Can you tell us a little bit about the course you're taking?
The course I'm taking is EKG, which is an electrocardiograph technician. Basically, while I'm in high school and I'm in college, which is dual enrollment, I will graduate in June, both high school and Sheridan Tech, with my NCET certification, which means I'm able to work as an EKG in a hospital as a graduate from high school. And I work my way up to nursing school. I might go to Berry for 2 years or Broward College. But at Sheridan, it's very good for high school students because they give you free books, free uniforms. You get to network with people, get to talk to people. It's really fun, interesting, and we're hands on.
So you don't pay.
No, I don't pay anything.
So the school board of Broward County is paying this,
They pay
right?
for everything for me.
Awesome. Very smart move. So when did you start the program?
I applied my sophomore year of high school. Basically, you have to have a 2.0 and above to apply, and they give you options from McFadder, Atlantic, Sheridan. It depends on what you want to take up, or BC. I took Sheridan because I want to do EKG, and I enrolled. I started my senior year.
Awesome. So you'll be graduating soon, and I heard your grades are coming up. Awesome. They're
Yeah.
beautiful. So what teacher inspired you here at Hollywood Hills to actually continue? Because I remember you used to be. Tell us a little bit about your past and bring it back up.
My sophomore year, I was in like a lot of drama, and Miss Cadora, she actually took me under her wings, and she made sure I was okay, like I was out of trouble. When I was failing in class, she would take me after school, and just go for work with me. If I was having a bad day, I could always go to her classroom, and still, even now, she see me do better. I'll always come to her classroom, hug her, bring her food and stuff like that. Like Miss
Oh,
Cadora is definitely one of my favorite teachers. I love Miss Cadora.
okay. So kudos to Miss
Yeah.
Cadora. Yes,
Yes.
awesome. So thank you so much, Natasha, for your little short interview. It was great, and I'm so glad you got out of drama. Okay.
Glad to.
As a senior, before I let you go, can you give advice to any of our students, 9, 10, 11th graders that probably have drama now? That what advice would you give them?
Get out of it because it's not worth it. Friends come and go, and I feel like it's not worth it. Like my 10th grade year, I really messed up being in different type of friend groups, and now I'm like recovering from that. So what I would say to my younger self and to y'all is that just stay out of it. Like it's not really worth it.
So you're happy you got out of it,
Yeah,
and
I'm
you're
happy.
you're making it happen, right?
I'm
So you could always turn it all around, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Definitely. And don't mess up. If you are going to do dual enrollment and in high school, please keep up with your work. Like you have to have a steady focus.
Have a so yes, that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, bye. Hello, students. Right now we have two wonderful students. I have Mrs. Vera and Mr. Renee. They're going to tell us a little bit about JROTC in First Sergeant Hampton's class. So, Miss Vera, can you tell us a little bit why you joined JROTC?
Honestly, in my freshman year, because I started then, it was just one of those like impulsive freshman things where you just choose any classes. But it's like as soon as I got into the class, my teacher was really nice. Everybody was really nice and helpful, so it made me stay. I didn't switch out.
Awesome. And Mr. Renee, how do you feel about the benefits that you have in being in JROTC? What are the benefits?
You get to learn leadership. You get basically you get to learn like all the things that happen in the army and which positions that they have and like their roles and that they I guess partake in what's going on in the army.
Okay. And if you had to choose all over again, would you guys choose JROTC?
Yes.
And how is your teacher? Can you tell me a little bit about your teacher that teaches your class?
I would say that he is probably my favorite teacher. He gives off like really, it's like,
Parent vibes.
yeah, he gives me father vibes. He makes me feel, it's like a little bit of motivation, like that kind of aura that I get from him. And his storytelling is amazing. Like, amazing. And
Awesome.
he's super nice.
Awesome. How do you feel about him? And we're talking about which teacher again?
First Sergeant Hampton.
There we go. And how do you feel about him, Renee?
Basically the same thing. Like he teaches you guys. He teaches us stuff that not every other teacher would teach you, and he basically like if you ever like have problems or like need help with anything, he'll be the teacher that's there for you. And then if you're ever feeling sad, he'll be the person. Like, he'll be the teacher who like lifts you up and
Very,
like makes you happy.
He's very understanding.
Yeah.
very,
So he makes your day.
Yes.
yeah,
So you're happy to be there.
favorite class.
So kudos.
Yes.
Okay, thumbs up. Thank you guys.
You're welcome.
Yes. My sister went there. Your sister went there? What did she take? What did she take? Cosmetology. Super popular, super popular. So between Sheridan, McFetter, and Atlantic, we train in about 70 different areas. Okay, so there's a lot going on. We've been training in cosmetology for like 55 years. So it's very successful. Does she work in that area right now? Okay, good, good.
He'd be on the next flight down. Rock solid people, all of them. He's been very, very strong in lasting connections.
Hey, have you all noticed that a lot of the students have been coming in dealing with anxiety or even depression?
Yes, I would say I've had quite a few.
I would say the same thing.
Especially like with my seniors, they've been coming in stressed about the future as they're preparing for college. They don't know what they want to do, and it's building a lot of anxiety, and then some for the holidays as well.
Yeah, and so I think they sometimes get confused though the difference between depression and anxiety. So some of the symptoms for depression is like lack of energy, changing appetite, hopelessness, feeling empty or numb. And then anxiety is more of a physical feeling like dizziness, increased heart rate, overthinking or obsessions, sweaty palms. So I think them learning the difference between the two is very important too, because we can't help them if they can't really identify if they're depressed or if it's just
It's
anxiety.
anxiety. Yeah.
So
That's a great point. Great point.
Very, very great, very informative. I think it's very important that we mention this mental health, which some people don't like to talk about, but I think as a counselor and working with students is very important to talk about. Mental health is not only for students but also adults as well. So it's very important that we recognize what that is and what it look like when a student is struggling, and and our staff member is struggling with mental health. So one of the things that I like to bring out is a coping strategy. There's a lot of different coping strategies, and specifically for anxiety. When you're having something that is involving anxiety, maybe you're suffering anxiety attack. I've witnessed those in several of my students. Is your breath. So main thing when you're having one of those is to take deep breaths, because once you get that attack, it's an attack on your breathing. Okay, that's one of the physical things that Ms. Williams was talking about.
Yeah, and I know for me, one of the strategies that I love is, well, I'll say there's two, reading like inspirational quotes and probably posting them around my room or my office as a reminder. And then sometimes just sitting down and making a list of my future and how I see it and what I want. And then that kind of gives me um, an idea of how to move forward.
and then I will add that it's okay to feel down sometimes. It's normal to even feel anxious or obnoxious a little from time to time. It's normal. It's when it lasts for a prolonged period of time. That's when you begin to worry or, seek out help. And another coping strategy is just thinking about positive things or things that make you happy.
You know, Ms. Williams, I think you stole mine, but I want to I want to piggyback on what you said. The keeping a positive mindset, keeping a positive attitude. A lot of times we just point out things that we don't like in us, and when we do that, we can lower our mental state. And we want it to always be as high as possible. But thinking about positive things will keep you at a high positive mental state. So think about things that you're good at and what you do to help you continue being the person who you want to be, not the person who you don't like, the things you don't like about yourself.
And I would even add that physical activity is a good way to help with that anxiety. So if you play a sport, if you just need to go run outside, take a walk, those things help with like the endorphins. I'm not a science or a medical teacher, but I know that it does help. So that's another coping strategy.
Now, you guys, I want you to take a look at what I have in my hand. It's a phone, right? So with this phone, there are a lot of different distractions that are with your phone. Even during class, your phone may be buzzing and you can't even focus on what's being taught. So, like you're saying, being outside in fresh air, turning your phone off with nobody out to distract you and for you just to get into a solemn place, a peaceful place. And just the ambiance, the sounds of nature, the birds and the trees. I know it sounds like, oh, Mr. Jackson's funny, but for real, go outside, take a walk,
It's true.
turn off your phone, get off of TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, just for a little bit. Just focus on yourself with no distractions to make sure that your mind is at peace.
Yes, break away from social media, even if it's temporary. Give yourself a break, a day or two or three or a few weeks, because
Yes.
social media can be very draining, very draining. And like Mr. Jackson said, it also becomes a distraction from your school life, even your personal life, because you are in your phone pretty much all day scrolling or looking. Just take a step back and take a break and relax and reset your mind.
Absolutely. Even as adults, I know we have to step away because social media can have you comparing yourselves to someone else, which can then increase that anxiety or the depression that you may be feeling.
And as I stated earlier, it's okay to feel down. It's okay to feel a little anxious from time to time, but if it prolongs, that is when you seek help, be it one of the counselors or any adult in the building you trust or adult at home you trust. Let them know about your feelings and how you're feeling. Don't hide it or keep it in. Seek out help because there are people here to help.
Also, I want to point out is that taking care of yourself is very important. Self care. So, to come to school with the proper amount of sleep, rest is very important. If you don't come to school with the proper amount of rest, then that first period or that fifth period, you won't get all of you need out of that period because your body hasn't, it's not awake yet. Your body's not awake yet. So please, when you go home, get what you need to get done for school. Take care of yourself. Take that walk. Eat that meal, but make sure you get the proper amount of sleep because during the school day you need the energy, and that comes from rest and eating. So make sure you're doing that. And if you can, put an exercise in that daily routine. If it's 30 minutes, 20 minutes, as long as it's something, please.
And that's what you have from your counselors on this Village Day.
Now that you know something,
Do something.